All right, tweet it. I'm ready.
Ben, ready, Dan.
Mentira fue la tarde tu pasado. Mentira fue la tarde tu pasado.
What's going on, everybody? It's the In the Money DFS podcast, hosted as always by myself, Justin, and Coach Dan, aka Dan Lamagna. I mean, that's his Twitter though. Follow him on Twitter at @FFCoachDan. My Twitter at Justin_FFB. What's going on, Dan?
Another week under the belt, Justin. Still chasing that Millie Maker, that big payday for us and our listeners. A little bit of a tough week, man. I'm a little heartbroken over my boy Dak, so that was a little bit of a shot to the heart here, but ready this week to get it. I had some successes. I had some tough ones. We'll get into that in a little while, but eyeing up the slate and just laser focus going into this week, man. So ready to help our listeners out and give them the best we got.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get listeners the best we got. We don't have a Thursday night game this week, which is a little different because usually on a live stream, which, by the way, we live stream every episode on YouTube at 7 o'clock Eastern. Type in the Money DFS podcast. Subscribe there if you're new. And we usually give the viewers who are in our live stream some single slate advice, but we don't really have that this week. So we're going to skip that because we don't have it. And we're going to go right to the week 5 review. So, Dan, what did we get right? What did we get wrong last week? And take us through it.
It's nice to dive right in, but boy, what a odd schedule we've been on, Justin. We're used to, getting ready for the Thursday night game. We get a late start having a game on Tuesday. We've never had a game on Tuesday in my time here. So reflecting back, I had some successes. Like FanDuel, I did pretty well this week. I know we mainly focus on DraftKings, but it's always funny how sometimes like one slate will hit and one slate won't. And for me, it worked in FanDuel. I was in one contest where you had 42 people enter, and I took first, and that allowed me an entry into their fan championship in December. It's a $250 contest, but it just didn't materialize the same way in DraftKings because my special punt plays were definitely punted away. I wanted to punt on tight end last week, and it didn't quite materialize as Ian Thomas got goose-egged, man. I'm very disappointed in the use of Ian Thomas. My lineups with Ebron, he did okay. Evan Ingram did okay. So those ones really fired me up. And Olamide Zacchaeus, at 3,000, after I had the lineup submitted, I ended up reading something else, and it just talked about it potentially not being a good matchup. And then I was a little mad at myself for going down that road, because if I got away from them, I could have been better. But, some things that did work was, Nuke and Mike Davis were two of the guys I was big on. They put up some really good points. And, I think if my pump plays were different and Dak didn't get hurt, I would have been all right. My lineups with Mahomes did a little bit better. That was the success of my FanDuel lineup, going with that Kansas City stack with Mahomes and Tyreek. Would have even been bigger if he didn't get that penalty on that bomb at the beginning of the game. I know we were texting each other at that time thinking, oh, here we go. We got it, the Kansas City stack. And then, of course, there's the yellow flag. But Mike Davis did well in that lineup. Playing it back with Ruggs was nice. It only took him 2 catches to get to 118 yards and a touchdown. Remember, saying that play back with Ruggs. Hollywood held his own, 6 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown. And there was still more potential for Brown in that game. And again, I think he's just so close to the blow up. So some good picks that probably, were better in cash, but in GPP and DraftKings, it was just average.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The picks we had, it wasn't a great week, but it wasn't an awful week. Dak Prescott definitely getting hurt did, in fact, not help us at all. I mean, it's unfortunate to see that. CeeDee Lamb's a beast. I mean, you stack him with the Andy Dalton and the Sunday night slate this week, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get right into this week 6 slate. So, quarterbacks this week. I mean, there's obviously a lot of guys, and hopefully no games get canceled. It's looking like the Atlanta game probably will get postponed a little bit, just because it's how nature of the beast right now, Dan. Is if any positive test happened during the week, you're likely going to get postponed to Tuesday or Monday. So I'm not expecting that game to happen Sunday. But this week, off a bye week is Aaron Rodgers. And I don't usually like paying up for quarterback. And I'm probably skipping ahead here because we usually do our stack of the week thing later on. But I love Aaron Rodgers and stacking him with Devontae Adams. I don't care if it's paying up for it. It's worth it. Devontae Adams back healthy. This means good things for Aaron Rodgers. So in turn, you got to play both. I wouldn't play one or the other. Maybe Devontae Adams, but I like to stack with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers goes nuclear with Devontae Adams in the lineup. He's probably going to target him at least 20 times this game. It wouldn't even shock me. So Aaron Rodgers like 7,500 is not a bad play considering the fact that they are going against Tampa Bay, and it should be a high-scoring game. It's a 54.5-point over/under, looking like the third highest on the slate. So I love that. It's music to my ears, and they also have the 10th highest team implied total. So I'm putting in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams in my lineup.
My only reservation there, and I like it for cash because I think Devontae Adams is going to get targets and he's going to get volume. But that Tampa Bay defense could be a little bit stingy, man. And Devontae Adams is going to be matched up against Carlton Davis because before I really dove into the slate a little bit more, I was like, same as you, man, Devontae Adams. But for GPP, I don't think he's going to go off. And that's my only reservation because Carlton Davis has been shutting down guys. He shadowed Mike Thomas, Keenan Allen, and Allen Robinson this year, and he's really contained them. Robinson had some catches. Allen had some catches, but they're not getting the yards after the catch, and they're not getting pay dirt. So I'm just a little nervous for GPP there, Justin. But I like your thinking otherwise. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Clarify. It's a cash lineup. If you want to make a GPP, if you say you want to have a one Adams and Rodgers stack play for GPP, just throw Robert Tonyan in there to make it a triple stack, and then that way you can probably diversify yourself a little bit more. But in cash, I'm going with that. I should clarify my plays beforehand. It's my apologies. But who do you like for quarterback?
And there are some cash plays that sometimes you could play in GPP. But again, that Green Bay stack is going to stay in my cash thoughts there with you, Justin, and not the GPP list here. I'm going to go back to I've got a couple of different guys this week, but one guy I'm going to continue to go back to the well with is Lamar Jackson. Him in Baltimore has been doing well. So last week, Andrews, scored again. Brown scored again. Those targets are really focused on those guys. I do got a little sleeper GPP stack later on with Baltimore, but I do like Lamar because I think the Eagles, man, I think Wentz is going to be a little bit sneaky, being able to put some points back at him there with Miles Sanders. Travis Fulgham, who we were kind of laughing at last week, showed out again. So there's some offense there. So I think Lamar, this could be a week where the game's just, even though they're 7-point favorites, I think might just be a little more competitive. And Lamar is going to put up some good stats against leaky Philadelphia secondary. And then just away from the very popular Lamar, I'm liking Matthew Stafford at 6,300. I think Detroit, Jacksonville, one of the highest scoring Vegas totals at 54.5. Matthew Stafford's really enticing. So I just think Jacksonville is not a good football team, even though they're in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville will put up some points against Detroit. So I think that'll help Stafford's cause. And then another one I like is Minnesota versus Atlanta. But of course, we now have those COVID concerns. So I put a big asterisk there. I'll probably set up a lineup just stacking that game. And then if for some reason it's canceled, I'll swap it out or replace it. But Kirk Cousins at 6,100 at home versus an Atlanta offense that will keep pace and score some points. I think Cousins, Thielen, JJ, they could have a good game. So I'll go back to the Cousins stacks this week. And then they're my three primary ones, Justin. I think two other games that I'm just kind of mulling over right now still is Houston at Tennessee with an over-under of 55. Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill, pick your side. I think there could be a lot of offense in that game. It might be a little bit deceiving. And then Cleveland and Pittsburgh, man. I don't know if that's going to be a defensive dogfight that'll go under that total of 51, but I mean, Vegas has been pretty accurate there. Ben and Baker could be a fun game to watch, so maybe a Steelers stack with all their weapons. That's where I'm at with quarterback for this week as of now.
So last week I was stealing all your picks off your sheet, and you were mind blown. You're like, "Where's the cameras?" And you did the same thing to me. You got me back this week. It was in due time. So Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford. It's beautiful work. It's beautiful work right there. I do like that a lot. And the team total you mentioned for the Houston game, it's a little like you don't really know. Well, Houston is for some reason all the way down at the 18th highest team implied total this week with 25.25 points. And that's weird because the over-under is 53.5. So Tennessee has a team implied total of 28.5, which is a lot on the slate. And that makes me feel like maybe you can go Ryan Tannehill stack. But I think it's going to be more of a Derrick Henry kind of game. Your boy Derrick Henry can get to running backs in a second. But lastly, it would be criminal if we left the quarterback section, Dan, without mentioning Conor McGregor, Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Jets, man, 5,900. And I heard a crazy stat. I don't know where it was from, so I can't really quote it. Since he took over a starting job last year in week 7, all the way up to right now, he is the QB3 in fantasy. The QB3, Dan. The QB3. You hate to admit it, but it spins up. We crushed the 49ers last week, and we're going to keep going headstrong, man. So what's up?
I couldn't believe what they did to the 49ers, I mean, my only reservation here, Justin, good for cash, is I don't know if the Jets will put up any fight, so it might be the Myles Gaskin show there. Gaskin makes my running back list just by default of, again, I think the Jets are just terrible, and I don't think they're going to be able to score. So, but yeah, I like your take there, man. 47.5 over under. They're 8.5-point favorites. Hey, maybe they just light them up in the air and you got yourself
contrarian play.
Definitely a good contrarian play. And,
exactly.
I don't want to leave off. I mean, we're not mentioning it. And normally we mention these guys every week. The Monday night slate is going to be a blast. Like those two games together, how you want to pick it. But you got Kansas City at Buffalo. But Monday night. This is a Monday night doubleheader. I take that back because Sunday night's the Rams at San Francisco. But Monday night doubleheader, Kansas City at Buffalo and Arizona at Dallas. You got Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Dak Prescott or Andy Dalton all in one night. Look at that. It's a flashback. I can't believe I said that. But that's going to be a fun 4-quarterback night that I look forward to. So don't forget about that game of the double stack Monday night.
Andy Dalton, baby. I think he's going to be a great play this week and easily top 12 for me. I'm starting him in lineups I have him in. And also, like you mentioned, the Monday night slate. It's going to be interesting this week, so keep an eye out for that. But you mentioned Myles Gaskin for running backs, and I think that's where we got to kick it off. So Myles Gaskin, you like him because you think the Jets suck. Wait. You know the Jets suck. We all know the Jets suck. That's what it comes down to. Myles Gaskin's usage has been very, very encouraging, and it doesn't look like they're turning away from him. 5 weeks of data, 5 weeks of Myles Gaskin being a starter, 5,400. Why not?
Another point on Gaskin, too, was last week Jordan Howard was not even active. And in previous weeks, we liked Gaskin, but we were worried that Howard would snake him, and every once in a while he would just on the goal line. And you're getting the yards, you're getting some catches, but you're not getting in the end zone. Now he's got the best of both worlds. So I'm going to keep a close eye. If Howard is not active again, you will definitely see a lot of Myles Gaskin in my lineups.
I love my team implied totals. Dolphins, 6th on the slate on a whole week, actually. So that's the Chiefs not even talking about it. So they're actually 5th if you want to talk about just this slate. Just kidding. They're 4th because the Cardinals are also up there as well. It's Myles Gaskin week. 28 points, man. The Dolphins are just going to win. The Dolphins are just win. That's all I do right now. I mean, it's just beautiful to see, but I want a better draft picks. What are they doing? But I do like the Myles Gaskin play. Another play I like is Joseph Mixon as a contrarian GPP play. I'll tell you why. Because one, Indianapolis, good run defense. 100%. I agree. It's tough, but Joe Mixon's usage since week 3 and on, the past 3 weeks have been very encouraging. Running more routes, dominating the touches. Giovanni Bernard is taking a back seat. Finally, Zach Taylor. Finally, read a book or watched some film where I don't know what you got to do to realize that Joe Mixon is just the better. I think just open your eyes probably and take off the stupid blindfold he was wearing. But 6,200 for a running back who's dominating touch shares when you have guys like Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry up there at 7,300, you can save $1,000 right there just by playing Joe Mixon. And $1,000 in this week in DraftKings can go a long way. So I do like the Joe Mixon contrarian play for GPP. Cash, probably not so much, but GPP, I do like my Joe Mixon play.
I like that, man. Mixon's definitely in my top 5 here. Similar to last week. Last week I zeroed in on 5 running backs. I lost Damian Harris when that game got moved out of my top 5 from the main slate. So that left me last week with 4 guys. Zeke and Mike Davis did not disappoint me last week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jonathan Taylor not getting the touches that I would have liked. This week, same thing. As I break down the slate early, I'm zeroing in on 5 guys. I'm loving Derrick Henry at 7,300, as chalk as he's going to be. And that's really what I've been breaking down and noticing these first handful of weeks is which chalk do you play and which chalk do you fade? And, it's okay to have some chalk in your lineups. I just like to not have too many. I've got to find some advantages in those GPP pools.
Yeah, I prefer to chalk at the QB position, like we mentioned. So I think, what you got to say about this?
Yeah, but you know I love team jam them in 3 running backs when I could get it, at least 2 solid ones. And again, Henry, and watching this last game on Tuesday versus Buffalo. Now they managed him very strategically, and I don't know if it was because of the layoff, if they're looking ahead to a shorter week, and they know they're going to need to pound him in a game versus Houston this week. But when he was in there, he was starting to flash. I don't know. He had a nasty stiff arm in that game, man, on the corner there. Henry's just starting to look like he's about to break out and have one of those 200-yard games. So I think he's a chalk that I'm just going to stay on and be okay with. And then, Madison at 7,200, although I heard Dalvin Cook may be trending to having a chance of playing. So I'm really watching that one closely. I think Minnesota in that high-scoring game, Madison's attractive, but he's going to be very chalky. So he might be the chalk I would fade. David Montgomery at 5,800 at Carolina. Or Mike Davis, 7,000 versus the Bears. I don't want them both in the same lineup.
That's for both.
Everybody could run on Carolina. We know that. And Montgomery's he's flashing. And I think this is a game that the Bears could stay in. Although Mike Davis, man, this is a Chicago Bears revenge game, if we believe that narrative there. That's his former team that didn't stay with him, and he's been looking great this year. So those 4 or 5 guys I'm zeroing in on, along with Gaskin, we said at 5,400 as a sleeper. Also on the radar at this point in the week, Rojo at 6,000, although I think Lenny might be coming back, so I'm starting to get scared away. You always say that, but then Rojo does good every week.
No, he could be better. He's disappointing.
He was even getting catches last week.
If you got those touches he got, you would put up more points than him.
He's flashing.
Very true.
I don't know. Then James Robinson at 6,800's on the radar. And, you and I were talking about dynasty trades before the show. Todd Gurley at 6,300. He's been performing like an RB1 the last couple of weeks. So in that shootout versus Minnesota, he might be a playback for me in a Cousins stack.
I like those plays. I like those plays a lot, Dan. I think that Derrick Henry is his week. He hasn't had a Derrick Henry week until this week. It's happening. I just saw the future. I looked over there. I said, oh, Derrick Henry stiff arming people. It's all I had to hear. And I see it. I envisioned it. It's got to happen. What's also going to happen is Jonathan Taylor. It's going to happen because he's a rookie. No preseason. Great offensive line. He had 75% of rushes last week in this offense compared to just 48% the week before. It's going up. It's against Cincinnati. What more do I got to say? Oh, wait. I'll say something else. 6,400. You like Todd Gurley at 6,300? Guess what? $100 extra get you a way better running back in Jonathan Taylor, who's going to find pay dirt twice this week and break 100 yards. I mean,
you better contact Frank Reich and ask for more touches. That's all I want to know.
He's going to get more touches because it's been going up every week. It's happening. I like that. And there's also a guy, 6,600 Miles Sanders GPP play. Be careful about that, though. But I got to mention it. It's only right. It's on the brand, but that's a GPP play. All right, because I don't want him to go off and me not be on him, Dan. That wouldn't be fair. So even if I'm right, I'm not right. If he doesn't do well, guess what? I'm still right because it's Miles Sanders. You can never go wrong with Miles Sanders. A little more sneakier plays. I like to get a little sneaky here. Damian Harris. Now, he had the touches last week. I was a little nervous that Le'Veon Bell may sign with him. Then the report came out today saying it wasn't in New England as a destination. He looked good against Kansas City. A week removed because of COVID. People kind of sleeping on him. And I think Damian Harris has the opportunity to be a slate breaker at 5K this week. And also, I would like to monitor Chase Young's injury. He played last week, but it's still bothering him. If he's not playing, I'm going to probably put Devonta Freeman in some cash lineups because he is getting more touches every week and doesn't look awful. And I hate Devonta Freeman. This is coming from me. I am like one of the biggest Devonta Freeman haters there is. But 4,900, he looks pretty good in the awful Giants offense. Imagine being a Giants fan. That would suck. Holy crap. They're so bad. But 4,900, it's not a bad price.
I think I'd rather – he has flash, Justin. I got to say that. I mean, I watched him versus Dallas. He looks okay. But Washington's run D could be a little bit tougher. I'd rather pay up for Antonio Gibson at 5,500. I want to say Gibson's play snaps have been going up every single week. And last week he definitely arrived with some more touches. He didn't really break out, but it was versus a tough Rams team. But he's getting more volume every week.
He is.
He plays the Giants.
Yeah, Giants suck. Always play your players against the Giants. It's team. You want to talk about team jam in? It's like, oh, Giants, okay, jam them in. Wide receivers, Dan. I want to talk about some wide receivers. I'm okay with paying up for Devontae Adams. I already mentioned that 8K, Tampa Bay. He's got a good cornerback with Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is not the same as Keenan Allen. He's not the same as Michael Thomas because he's healthy right now. And Michael Thomas is still coming back, but he did lock up Michael Thomas, did kind of lock up Keenan Allen. Can he keep it going? I don't know. I don't think so. I think as Monte Allen is back, he's the only one that's going to get like 20 targets. Aaron Rodgers doesn't care who's covering him. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a crap because he only likes Devontae Adams. I'm locking him in there. But you mentioned it already. I'm stealing it before you can even say it. It's Hollywood Brown week. Last week he did score, but he didn't explode. This week, he's going nuclear. He's going nuclear. Philly secondary. I don't care who it is. No one can catch this man. No one's as fast as Marquise Hollywood Brown. He's going for 175 and at least one. It's happening, Dan, because he's getting all those yards on one catch.
I don't know. I got a contrarian play there in Baltimore. And Hollywood was the first name I wrote on my list as I was looking at that Ravens stack, and it's very easy to put Lamar, Brown, Andrews, but Hollywood is going up against Darius Slay, and it makes me think a little bit that he's going to still be a good cash play. I mean, you could score on, you could catch balls against Slay, but I don't know if it's an eruption. I don't know if it's an eruption spot. And you know who's catching my eye every week? And if I do have those couple GPP lineups where I look at that punt play, it's Devin Duvernay, man.
It's Devin Duvernay.
Fast. He is, I know Chase Claypool got all the attention last week, and I'm mad you and I weren't on Claypool. That's another reason we didn't win big last week. He was a GPP. You had him in your lineup. You just had all kinds of dollar signs. So Devin Duvernay, the next guy out of that rookie class that might be due for that, take one to the house play. He has flashed every week. And at 3,000 with Slay covering Brown, it might be a nice little Lamar, Andrews, Duvernay. We'll talk about stacks later.
I'm still going to say every single week, you are a closet Ravens fan. And it's not even like a closet anymore. It's just out in the blue. I think I see next to that Cooper signed jersey, there's a little Hollywood Brown sticker up there. Maybe. I don't really know. Now, I was going to say, you mentioned Darius Slay because you think Darius Slay is just the best cornerback in the league because week one, I said Terry McLaurin against Darius Slay. And you're like, no. But he had a solid week for cash. Wasn't a great week for GBP. But this week, it's a great week for GBP with Terry McLaurin. Washington against who? The Giants. You're saying no. I don't know why. I know exactly why you're going to say no. Ready? I'm going to say why you're saying no. Oh, Alex Smith or Kyle Allen. Is this why you're saying no?
No.
Oh, why are you saying no?
James Bradbury is why.
Yeah, what's up with you and these NFC corners? I'm not worried. It's Scary Terry. Last week against the Rams. Ramsey. Okay, that's different. Bradbury has not seen Terry McLaurin yet this year. He's seen
A-Rob, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
This is a different play style. Terry McLaurin.
He's having a career year. Again, cash like McLaurin. GPP.
Okay.
He was McLaurin and Adams both started on my list along with Allen Robinson. And I ended up crossing all three of them off. And then Marquise Brown, I didn't cross off, but I put a question mark on as I
all
do
these
not
symbols,
like
all these crossing offs. Oh, damn. What about my man's? This is just a My Guy show, I guess. But 4,500 because I like the team jam and running back. Big proponent of the team jam and running back. So if you were trying to say a wide receiver at 4,500, N'Keal Harry, target beast. He's getting those 50-50 balls. That's all I ever wanted from N'Keal Harry was just 50-50 balls because this man is big. He's at the catch point, contested catch master, basically Allen Robinson 2.0, and he's finally getting him. Cam Newton's back, which is all I like to see, and it's happening for 4,500. You can't say no with that price, Dan. It's like you go into a store, you want to get, a certain, I don't know, say you wanted to get the brand cereal, but you're like, no, I'm going to save money today. And also, wait a minute, it's right there. It's on sale. It's almost the same thing. You got to go with the sale price on N'Keal Harry. You can't say no to it.
You definitely have me listening here. I'm all ears on N'Keal Harry. I always like a Cam stack, at least in one lineup.
N'Keal Harry.
You get the blessing there. No shutdown matchups on him. He's overdue. Cam's going to be fired up after missing a couple games. So that could be an interesting to watch for sure.
It is. And now a little cheaper. I got to type them in because I don't have the price written down. $3,000, which is not real money, thank goodness, because I would not be able to afford this guy. Jeff Smith against the Dolphins. You mentioned the Dolphins being big favorites, getting up early. Well, Jeff Smith last week, 11 targets and 124 air yards. Who's Jeff Smith? For the Jets. The Jets, Jets. They suck. But Jeff Smith, 11 targets is 11 targets, Dan. I don't care it's 11 targets. And he's looking good. He's looking pretty good for the Jets because the Jets, there's not a lot of bright spots on there. Jameson Crowder's a bright spot, but he's going to probably be highly owned if any Jets player is going to be highly owned. It's Jameson Crowder. So Jeff Smith, GPP play. You're welcome.
And this, like last week, I'm so mad at myself. And as I said, as I look back at my GPP lineups, I had some great plays, but unfortunately, there were like 3-4 sinkers in there. If I went with Jeff Smith a week ago instead of Zacharias from Atlanta, would have won more money. If I stood on Brandon Cooks instead of being mad at him for the week before when he had another great matchup and was due for a breakout game, he went off last week. So as I think back, we had a good 3-week stretch there, and then I got away from the process a little bit last week. So I'm going to write Jeff Smith down for you. Just, double check his price and compare my pump
now
plays.
you're doing that just to make me feel better about myself, Dan. But once I have Jeff Smith in a Millie Maker lineup, you're going to be like, wow, this guy was on something with Jeff Smith, the most generic name possible. Jeff freaking Smith, baby. That's a fake ID name.
Very hard to take a New York Jet in my lineup. But
it's disgusting. I feel gross right now just talking about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nauseous right now. That's the Jet talk. You just hear anything about the Jets, you feel a little nauseous. But before you get your next play, one of my favorite plays this week is Brandon Cooks. I know me and Mitch have a little 3-man tournament we do every week, and I had Brandon Cooks in there, and I don't even know why. But guess what? He looked good in 5K, Houston, Tennessee, shootout. You just hate all my plays this week, Dan. I'm kind of sick of this now. Why don't you like Brandon Cooks?
I'm mad at Brandon Cooks because 2 weeks ago he goose egged me when I had awesome lineups and I would have won a ton of money. And then last week, because I was mad at him, he did really well. so to put him in the mix a third week in a row, I don't know.
Are you happy with him or are you mad at him right now?
I have mixed emotions, and I'm really struggling with this.
All right, we needed a tweet before.
I'm more mad at him.
All right, there we go. Okay, dude. He's going off this week. He's going off this week. Who are the plays you like a wide receiver, Dan?
I love it. I'm liking the Lions, man. I told you, sneaky GPP play there with that high over under. People might not be attracted to the Detroit Jacksonville game, but Kenny Golladay at 6,200 and Marvin Jones at 5,100, very appealing for me. Your boy Calvin Ridley, I'd rather have if I'm paying up instead of Devontae Adams.
I don't like that pre-log Calvin Ridley with your boy. I'm not a big Calvin Ridley guy.
The guy.
He's not my guy. I mean, hey, I'll take credit. Yeah, he's my boy.
He is playing the leaky Minnesota secondary, and Julio's not 100%, and it's just Ridley has been the one consistent for the Atlanta offense, no matter what. So if I'm paying up, I'm looking at Ridley. Robbie Anderson at 6,300. Watching that Carolina, I know DJ Moore's your guy, but Teddy Bridgewater and Robbie Anderson are in sync, man. Like those guys are like the chemistry is real. I definitely love that a lot. I was high on AJ Brown at 5,600. His price is incredible. Should not be at 5,600. It's mispriced by DraftKings. They forgot to put him up.
Keep an eye up on his
game changes.
He's got a
tough matchup.
Practice report. He didn't practice today.
Yeah, I think they're just easing him back after the last game. It was his first full load. He had an awesome game Tuesday versus Buffalo. He looked like AJ Brown is back. At 5,600, you can't go wrong. But I'm not crazy about the matchup, so I like him more for cash, I think, than GPP. Travis Fulgham at 4,400. I don't want to be that guy that just every week says, I don't believe. And
you're sounding like that guy, man.
He's looking legit there,
Yeah. Until Rager comes back, he's looking legit there. Until Rager comes back, there's no weapons there. So I do like Travis Fulgham as well.
Yeah. Adam Thielen, 7,300. Justin Jefferson, 6,000 in my Minnesota stacks. That combo is looking good. I want to touch on Monday night. Just again, I said I love that.
But before you go to Monday night, I have two more plays I want to mention before we get there. So Darius Slayton.
I'm out of order. I actually had more Sunday ones. They just ironically we're in the list there. So hey, Shark and LaVisca a little bit in Jacksonville, depending on who I would play back in that Detroit stack there. Visca at 5,200, Shark at 6,300. They're both a little bit questionable too in the practice report, so I want to see them continue to evolve. Tyler Boyd at 5,800 has got the best matchup in Cincinnati versus the Colts. The rest of the receivers do not have a good matchup. I think he'll eat out of the slot. Will Fuller instead of your boy Brandon Cooks. When I like Houston, I like Fuller.
Will Fuller at 6,800. I hate Brandon Cooks, Dan. I'm just saying it because he's cheap.
That's fair. My last one for Sunday, Justin, that I keep going back and forth on.
And he listed every wide receiver again.
Don't like his quarterback at all. I'm questioning if I even like him at all anymore, but he's got a great matchup. And if I think back to last week with Cooks and we say, trust the process, I'm going to trust the process and say T.Y. Hilton at 5,000. could just have a T.Y. Hilton game. Just maybe Philip Rivers, like 1 or 2.
No, wait, we're doing this on purpose. Remember, Dan, it's a reverse psychology effect. It's like we hate him. He's going to go off. So put him in your lineup. But, well, he sucks.
There's the sneaky one there. Who do you got, Jess? What did you
I was going to say
on
Darius
Sunday?
Slayton. Darius Slayton looks like the only person on the Giants offense right now, and he's commanding lots of targets, over 45% market share air yards, and it's Washington. And they're good rush defense, like you mentioned. So that means bad pass defense because it's Washington. They're not a good team. So I do like that as a sneaky play. I was going to say T. Higgins, but the more I looked at it, I was actually looking at it. I do like Tyler Boyd a lot more for the price, and I think that's a great play who's going to be a lock in almost all my cash lineups. So I like that. And you can touch on Monday night real quick. Go ahead before you get to tight end.
Just quick touch because we're talking receivers. Depending on what quarterbacks you stack, again, there's going to be some high-scoring fireworks Sunday, Monday night. Loving Nuke Hopkins, loving my boy McCole Hardman with Sammy Watkins out and CeeDee Lamb. I know you and I talk a lot about Lamb. I think those 3 guys could have the breakout games and be receivers I want to get in my lineups.
CeeDee Lamb, man, what a guy. He's great. Imagine getting him in Dynasty. That's crazy. That's a nice feeling to have, Dan. No.
You're dead. You're dead to me right now.
I know. It's great. But who's not dead to me and maybe dead to you is Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas for tight ends right now. He is only $2,900. Super, super, super cheap. But he's dead to you. Well, what if you have no money, Dan? You're like, oh, $2,900 is all I have left. You're gonna pay down for Ryan Izzo?
Nope. I'm gonna pay down to Irv Smith at $2,500.
Oh, well, that's bull crap. Yeah, okay. Listen to Dan on this one. Yeah. That's some bull crap.
He flashed last week.
I didn't see you $2,500, Dan. I thought you'd be priced higher. That's how inexperienced I am. Blame the job.
Al Seinfeld's kind of playing him down like he could get you a goose egg in one and going to scare people away because he could.
Al Seinfeld's going to have him in the Million Maker lineup. You watch. He's cheating all you guys.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping he scared people away a little bit, but he flashed last week and he plays the Falcons, who are just terrible versus tight ends. And I just think, again, like in Minnesota this week, I think they're going to go back to Irv and not make the mistake that Carolina did. Carolina just didn't need it, I guess, with Ian Thomas. Mike Davis was catching everything and DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. But I think Irv Smith, he'll eat.
Yeah, a guy who also is going to eat is Austin Hooper, 3,900. He is just getting more and more targets every week for the Browns, and just his target share is increasing surprisingly ever since week 1. And I know it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a little scary, but divisional matchup, probably play him a little closer. And tight ends have had a little bit of success against Pittsburgh. By that, I mean Noah Fant. He had 10 targets against Pittsburgh. I mean, last week Ertz, but they didn't really want to use Ertz. But I have faith in Austin Hooper because I think that he's going to get open. 2 tight end sets. Njoku's back, which could help him or hurt him, but I like Njoku and Hooper. Now that's it. Njoku's more of a GBP play, but Hooper's more of a cash play.
Hooper's volume's been going up every week. 10 targets last week. Hey, if he could get 6 to 10 targets again in a good matchup at that price, the Hooper Scooper might pay off for you, Justin. So you're on to something there. And that's again, if you're not paying down as low as Irv Smith, Hooper's a nice one. I love Mark Andrews in a Ravens stack there, 6,500. He's attractive to me. My boy Jonnu, 5,200.
Oh, Dan. No, go back. Rephrase that. Come on, you know what to do. It's our boy, Dan. It's our boy.
I liked him first.
No, you didn't. You can go back. We have friend Jeremy Schwab from Dynasty Self-Help. Him and I have been on Jonnu. He's been on Jonnu longer than I have. So, I'm letting you have him too, Dan. It's our boy. You can't say you had him first.
all off season, I was trying to get as many shares as Jonnu.
I don't know, man.
Fair enough. Our boy Jonnu.
Yeah, that's our boy Jonnu.
Especially if that game does shoot out a little bit, I think it'll be a Henry game. But to me, I still think that offense goes through Henry, Jonnu, Corey Davis.
But Jonnu also lines up in the backfield sometimes, which is scary.
Which is nice because you can get some sneaky touchdowns in the red zone there, the way they line them up. So the only thing I'll watch is, Corey Davis, Adam Humphries. Do those guys come back? The less targets that got to be shared, the better. But TJ Hawkinson at 5,300 again, like in Detroit. I might go with a couple variations of that Detroit lineup. Might go back to the well again with Eric Ebron at 4,100 versus Cleveland. Cleveland often gives up some tight end play there. And then I don't know if I like this one, but everywhere I read and hear and see, I'm just seeing Trey Burton 3,100. I'm like, why are people on a Trey Burton? And I look him up, and he got a lot of Rivers catches, and
It's all
I
garbage
think
time though.
Rivers can't throw the ball. So I'm thinking maybe that's his kind of dink and dunk, dump it
John
off
Taylor.
kind of guy there. But
Now,
I won't have much of them. But I felt like I'd be failing our listeners if I didn't mention them at that.
You
point.
mentioned a lot of good tight ends, and I agree with every single one. But I think DraftKings has like a glitch or something like that because there's a wide receiver that you can play at tight end at 5,500. It's Mike Gesicki. He's basically playing wide receiver usage, man. I mean, that's show me the money, baby.
Tell him to bring me my money. Yeah.
Mike Gesicki. What a beast. I love this guy. Super athletic. Leads the league in air yards for tight ends. What a guy. And he looks really good this year. And he hasn't had a boom. Well, he had one boom game, but he needs to have another boom game. Mike Gesicki, top 3 tight end this week. Lock it in. 5,500. I like him if you're trying to pivot off Andrews and still pay off for tight end.
That's a good one.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. All right, defense, real quick. Give me because we gotta go to stacks. We're running a little bit late, Dan. Not really, but like I'll try to keep it under 40 minutes for the people. So let's go defenses. Who do you got?
Vikings, Dolphins, Giants. And I kind of like.
Oh, he just listed them all. I got Dolphins defense, baby.
Yeah. Miami, man, I'm with your Dolphins there. I think versus the Jets and Flacco, I just don't think they produce any offense. Le'Veon Bell is now on his way to Kansas City. I think the Dolphins are a nice play at 2,900. Flacco will make some mistakes.
Yes, sir.
Vikings, if you just want to pay down at 2,300, I just think they're at home. The defense is starting to play a little bit better. They'll have their breakdowns. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think Matty Ice is going to throw a pick or two there. I think there's just pick six potential and a lot of pressure they'll put on Matty Ryan. And then maybe even the Giants at 3,200. Again, in that range of paying down. I think the Washington offense is a mess right now. Kyle Allen went out with a concussion. I think he'll be back. Alex Smith came in. I was thrilled for Alex Smith. I was rooting for him. I actually had to change a game just to watch him come back from that tragic injury. But he was bad. I mean, he threw for 74 yards and really couldn't move the offense. So I think McLaurin in a tough matchup there. It's going to be tough for Washington to get points, but they're going to have to try to keep up. So I'm looking to pay down and take one of those 3 defenses this week.
Yeah, I also like the Dolphins a lot, as you heard via sound effect. But the Giants, if you want to pivot off the Washington game, both those offenses suck, and you probably get points both ways. The Giants and Washington football team, both those defenses are in play for me. The Giants are cheaper, so I do like that, especially with Alex Smith or Kyle Allen starting at quarterback. Stack it up, Dan. Stacks the week. I already mentioned Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, and Devontae Adams, but there's some better stacks out there. I want to hear yours first. That way I don't steal it, because I know last week I had a tendency to steal some stacks.
There's a few stacks I'm going to play out here. Detroit at Jacksonville again, 54.5. I don't think it's going to be one of the more popular contests, but I am on Matt Stafford this week. I'll have some combinations with either Jones or Galladay or Hawkinson. I'll mix up some combos there. And Jacksonville, I'll either play it back with either DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, or James Robinson. So there's definitely some high scoring potential there that could potentially be a Millie Maker winner. Baltimore will be my more, every week waiting for Lamar and that offense to just blow up. I think there's a blow up game somewhere in there. So Lamar, Mark Andrews, play that baby back maybe with your boy Miles Sanders. We'll see.
Oh.
I knew you'd like that one.
Oh, yeah, I can't ever hate a Miles Sanders take. Unless it's a bad take.
If Minnesota plays I'm liking Cousins with Thielen and Irv Smith with a playback of Calvin Ridley of some sort there, or Gurley. I'll be eyeing that game up. And then I told you I'm still going to go back and look at Houston and Tennessee.
Don't take my stack as well. Don't take my stack, Dan. It's Deshaun Watson,
Fuller.
Oh, look at Dan. We're on the same page. Oh, he did it to me. He did it to me. Unbelievable. That's a yay. That's a
sign.
That's everything. It has to happen. It's meant to be. It's just meant to be. It's a beautiful stack. That's my stack of the week. I was hoping you wouldn't say it, but you did. You said it. You said it, Dan. I mean, I don't know what to. I don't even know. You said it. But I now have to find the even more contrarian stack of the week, and I think it's just right there in your writing. It is Ryan Fitzmagic. It is Jamison Crowder, and then the other wide receiver is Mike Gesicki. It's a weird stack. It's contrarian, but I kind of like it. It's very contrarian. You're gonna play some GBP, and I guarantee you're gonna have some. You're gonna be able to pay up a lot of spots everywhere else with this kind of stack, because it's not sexy. Well, to me, it's sexy, but it's a tight end stack. Running it back with a Jamison Crowder stack. Those 3 players combined for like nothing, and you have 3,200 to fill up, or 32,000 to fill up for your rest of your spots, which is not bad at all.
You know, someone's gonna go off versus the Jets, and Devontae Parker's probably the popular one. Gesicki, I like your tight end theory there, and I like how you're calling him a receiver tonight. And but Preston Williams at 4,700. That'd be my last stat comment with your take there. He finally last week kind of showed a little bit of the Preston Williams we saw last year with 5 catches, 106 yards. I'm wondering if and a touchdown. I'm wondering if he's getting his legs under him again, and still and underpriced at this point. That could be a sneaky play.
I don't mind Preston. I prefer Parker at the price. And if I'm going to pivot off Parker, I'm going to Gesicki. I think Williams still looks a little bit like, recovering from his ACL surgery. So it's tough for me to play him. But like you said, it's GPP. If you're doing multiple lineups and you want to do a different kind of Dolphin stack, which you should always want to consider Dolphin stacks this year, apparently, because they're scoring a lot of points, then I don't hate that. It's just not my preferred one, which by the rules of reverse psychology, Dan, it could be the best one out there. I mean, hey, whatever I say, just do the opposite of that. That's the motto. That's going to do it for us for the Week 6 slate. A lot of good takes. We're excited for the Monday night slate. You can follow Dan on Twitter at FFCoachDan. He'll be tweeting about it. My Twitter at Justin_FFB. I probably won't be tweeting about it. You can tweet at me any questions, and I will be sure to respond to you on that. And the podcast Twitter is at InTheMoneyDFS_ on Twitter. Once again, we go live every single Thursday around 7 o'clock Eastern time. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. This is quality content. Most people just read through and they're kind of monotone. We have the energy, Dan. The energy and the chemistry is there, man. If we were on a football team, you were a wide receiver. I'm the quarterback. We're stacking us every single week.
It's money, man, and hopefully our listeners are going to be in the money this weekend as well. So keep listening. Like you said, if you're not, get on board the train here and let's win some money together.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll see you guys next time.